I'd like to welcome you to Southeast Alaska and our Exploring Alaska's Coastal Wilderness trip on the National Geographic Sea Lion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome everybody aboard the National Geographic Sea Lion. If we could raise our glass, toast to an amazing week exploring Southeast Alaska and their coastlines. Cheers.
Swing towards the boat.
The National Geographic Sea Lion has dropped anchor in DeGroff Bay, and we are making our way to shore for our first landing in the temperate rainforest. So things we hope to see along the way are some of the incredible trees that make this coastline home, largely Sitka spruce and western hemlock. Okay. So this is an exploratory walk. I've never been in here, but there are a lot of animal trails, so that makes for a little bit easier walking, hopefully. This temperate rainforest is unique in that it's not found in many parts of the world. In Alaska, it stretches for about 1,000 miles in length from the border of Canada all the way up to the island of Kodiak.
You know, you just get a sense of how it just must go forever. It's like an area that we just have to preserve, and we have to just carry it almost in our hearts, because it's just something we just can't let go ever. We just need it. It's wonderful here, just beautiful. We're so lucky to have such a great day today. And we're finding all sorts of new growth for spring flowers, shooting stars, the bog cranberry we found, which was wonderful.
Bog cranberry.
Bog cranberry.
And apparently they're edible. They taste very tart.
So this is a snail, it's a gastropod, right? Without a shell, basically. And so what is the function of a banana slug in this ecosystem? Is that they're eating, chewing up the more organic material, spitting it out, pooping it out, and making it more accessible for plants.
It's kind of shy.
That's just wind, I would assume.
And
And
slimy.
it's super wet. We can get up to 100.
And all young children love little tiny things. So I've been pretty good out here today finding some of the smallest things, because that's how children look at the world, close to the ground, and the smaller the better. I'm hoping we can take them back, and I'm hoping that we can do a little more investigation about them. Maybe look at them under the microscope. That's got to be a bear hair. This is a cone jelly. I'm excited for my students to see these, because they're really the shapes of cones. They're only 3, 4, and 5 years old, so that's going to be pretty exciting. It's one of the most colorful things we've seen out here today, too. The experience itself was enough. Being out in the woods was fabulous, and learning from the naturalists, but then coming back and talking to other people on the ship and hearing what they saw. And different groups saw some similar things, but with differences. So now we're all looking in the books and trying to figure out some of the details. And being out there was great, but being back is icing on the cake.
Alright folks, what we have here is a humpback whale. These whales are coming up from Hawaii. They're coming up to the colder waters to feed. And that's why they're here. And in a sense, that's why we're here, to get to watch them. It's going to make kind of a heart-shaped blow, and the reasoning for that is that baleen whales will have 2 blowholes right next to each other.
See the hump of the back? Yep,
Sure is.
So we're at Port Althorp here today, and we're going to take several lengths of walks along this beach. It's a nice sunny day, and we're looking forward to the short and medium walks. Here we go. We'll be walking along at the edge of the woods, environments that where beach meets woods. Possible bear tracks in here.
And then we also saw some lots of bear tracks with claw marks and pad marks in the feet.
imprint in there and kind of move it around a little bit to say, I was
Well,
here.
I think one of the most impressive, the deer carcass, where there had been a deer basically had been eaten down to the skeleton. Lots of things to see that you might skip by if you were just walking by yourself, but having a group and a knowledgeable person with you, you see things that you wouldn't normally see. And also the clams and the other animals and plants growing on the tidal area.
And the ball of foot right here. Kayaking afterwards, there'll be people kayaking along the shoreline here. And it's great at low tide like this to kayak because you can see some things that are exposed that you wouldn't normally see. Okay, welcome to George Island. This is where we're going to do, we're off the ship and going to take a little hike after lunch here up to a beautiful beach, kind of on the west side of the island looking out towards the Pacific, or we're going to head a little bit higher and up through the woods to a gun that was mounted there in 1942 to defend this area against possible Japanese attack. So we'll take a look at the gun, talk about it a little bit, and see some other signs of that habitation by soldiers during those couple years of occupation here on George Island.
Matt asked me to get on it like Cher did in that film clip Turn Back Time on the big gun, but I said no because it didn't look the same.
I couldn't understand why.
It was good, it was very fascinating.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful!
A nice bit of up and down walking, which is
Yeah, the exercise has been
get
nice.
the heart beating.
And the granite's gorgeous, like the stone, different to where we've been.
Colour of the water.
No, it's been really interesting.
I certainly feel like I've earned the next couple of beers, eh?
Hey! Hey, you!
Southeast Alaska is a remarkable place to be as an undersea specialist on the National Geographic Sea Lion. These rich, productive waters here in Southeast Alaska produce an ecosystem that supports incredible wildlife, from animals like nudibranchs all the way up the chain to whales, seals, sea lions, sea otters, mostly supported by an incredible kelp forest that you can see here all along the shore. Diving on board this ship here in Southeast Alaska really is a pleasure. Every time I get in the water, I never know what I'm going to see. I really am exploring this coastline and these shores to see what I can find to bring back to the guests.
All right, wasa iati, Klek wasacha uti. Welcome to Sitgi Tagai, the bay in place of the glacier, the ancestral homeland of the Hunatlingans. So as most of you saw, it's a beautiful place. It's incredible, and as some of you saw, it's a homeland. It's one of the most important things for us in the world.
Glacier Bay National Park is an enormous wilderness landscape that has over 1,000 glaciers, many of which touch the sea, mountains soaring 15,000 feet high, seas up to 1,500 feet deep, and a huge variety of wildlife. It's one of the largest protected wilderness landscapes in the world, second only to Antarctica. And when you come here, the vastness, the contrasts, the dynamic perspectives really allow us to lose ourselves, feel very free in this wild place.
Peace, the quiet of it all. Seems like in a place that's wild, you expect it to, I don't know, be wild. You don't expect the calm that comes with it, where you get to look and you get to watch, and it's just quiet, peaceful and serene, and that's one of the best parts.
I love this place with all of my heart because it isn't just a wild landscape. It is literally a place where nature is being perpetually reborn. And the hope that I find here in the animals, in the wildlife, in the ice, it nourishes me everywhere that I go. And I tell my friends and family that there is wilderness out there and it is just waiting and begging to be explored. And it gives me that strength every day. Coming to wild spaces allows us to see and experience things that are often hard to see and experience in our civilized lives. And even though this is a wilderness area that we do all have to leave, the imprints, the memories that we make here stick with us forever. John Muir had a really good way of putting it. He said when he came to Glacier Bay that these beautiful days shall enrich all of my life. They don't exist as mere images, but they saturate themselves into every part of my being and live always. That's what happens. You soak in Glacier Bay's wilderness and you leave changed, and that reverberates wherever we end up after.
So it's a pleasure to come out with you, and hopefully you enjoyed your cruise through Siti Taga'i.
We're out here kayaking just as quietly as we can. It's beautiful and peaceful.
notch in it. See that little notch? Hence the common name twisted stalk that holds the flower. So that's how it gets its common name.
Really close. It almost looks like a pineapple.
Turn this to me. Get it off Autumn and put it on.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Or here comes Elise on the other side of the lake. See if it'll okay. Oh, is that back up? Yeah, that's all. That's a huge part of your ecosystem. Part of the web of life.
That's what I'm talking about.
Where'd that hole come from?
It used to be a nurse log and now it's gone. I got this awesome picture of a tree that looks like it was growing on a nurse log, and the nurse log decomposed, and so now there's this really cool buttressing left behind. Now I've got the awesome picture of the nurse log that goes along with the buttress tree.
That is beautiful. I love it. Long hikers or bushwhackers. Come here, come here.
You can see Captain Nettles here, pulling us into Petersburg. Pretty tight little spot.
Looking pretty sharp. I'm thinking that chap down there knows his knots. It's really interesting to be in amongst houses again after the last few days out in the wilderness.
Here in Petersburg, there's a rich tradition of fishing and also a distinct Norwegian heritage, which you can see on full display today as it is Little Norway Festival.
Yeah. Where's the bar?
There's the bar right there.
I think the harbor bar. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. What's that? Oh yeah. Of course you can.
In terms of photography, when you're trying to do kind of an action scene, you're really going to want to have a fast shutter speed, but also just kind of setting your background, trying to get that movement nice and clean, crisp, no distractions. We'll see how that goes. So for the herring toss here, we've got lots of really great facial expressions, movements, things that are constantly shifting around, and the faces. That's what we're really looking for here with the faces.
One large step back.
Fish toss is coming on. John and E are in the fish toss.
We're doing a herring toss.
You got the fish. That's what we want. Where are you, Mac?
We got the fish.